Now, let's look at which are these 20 countries in G20 and just a broad parameter of what their per capita incomes are. And I have already given a caveat that per capita income, the way they look at it in dollars and in current dollars, uh, tends to underestimate the per capita incomes of developing countries, especially like India. But in any case, look at the slide. We have alphabetically Argentina, $13,700, then Australia, $65,000, Brazil, about $10, $10,000, China, $13,700, France, 44.4, Germany, 51.4, India, 2.6. Note, it's just 2.6. Let's compare to Australia, 65,000. So it will look like as if it is not even a poor man's income there, poorest man's income there. So therefore, there is a big question mark in terms of what these calculations are. Italy is 36, Japan is 36, Republic of Korea is 34, Mexico is 12, Russia is 14.4, Saudi Arabia is 30, South Africa is 6.5, Turkey is 12, and United Kingdom is 46,000, United States is 80,000. So if United States is 80,000 and India is 2.60, you can see it's almost like 135th or something like that. So that is where it creates a problem when they look at these incomes in dollars. They think the market for their goods is very small in India. And what we think is that, we have made these goods here and we should be able to walk into the markets of the others. But then there are tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. Separately, we are going to discuss these free trade agreements with various countries which are in negotiation, European Union and so on. Now, let's note one thing. I have told you the figures of 19 countries. Now, the big smart game they have played, which also the Indian Foreign Office does not bring to our notice, is that the 20th member is European Union. And European Union has 41 countries. So anyway, they have made it a West group again by bringing in the representative of the European Union along with these France and UK and so on and so forth. So therefore it is dominated again by their thinking. But let's look at the European Union. Africa, nobody gives the figures also. They think it is very small and insignificant, etc. 51 countries, the continent bigger than any other continent, 1 billion population, but they get neglected. You will not find an African country here at all. So India has invited Egypt and India has invited certain other countries, also African Union, to become members of G20, a meeting which takes place next week. Now this is where the role of India comes into it, which we are trying to appreciate. And what is the business opportunities it brings and so on. Even in B20, or let's say BRICS before that last week, China had 50 companies who had come also. And most of them did MOUs for business. Hardly any Indian companies were present. So these associations, we look at it from political point of view, and India's role, which is improving and increasing, is very good. But the business is not really following it up. Why? Because they're risk-averse. They still think in terms of Europe only or USA only. They don't think in terms of Kazakhstan and Tajikistan or Congo or something like that. And like India, if you say that I will only look at Bombay market and Calcutta and Hyderabad and Bangalore and Delhi market, and I will not look at Azamgarh or Jaisalmer or Louisiana or something like that, then what kind of all India marketing you are doing? And if you don't look at these countries, little market will add up. And this is what China is doing it. Let's say Chinese companies are doing it. They are going everywhere. And wherever the infrastructure is not there, they are trying to make up that infrastructure through BRI. That's New Silk Road Initiative. Okay, now, so let me briefly go through these numbers on the European Union countries in thousands of dollars. Austria, 57, Belgium, 54, Bulgaria, 15, Croatia 20, Cyprus 33, then Czech Republic is 31, Denmark is 69, Estonia is 31, Finland is 54, France is 44, Germany is 51, Greece is 22, Hungary is 19, Ireland is 114,000. And we can discuss sometime separately why Ireland's figure is that high. Because main reason is that UK or Britain exited out of the European Union arrangement. It's called Brexit, Britain out, exit, and Ireland remained. And because Northern Ireland is a part of UK and Ireland is an independent country. So Ireland has remained part of the EU. Therefore, Ireland has become the entry point from this side. Because UK and the rest of the European Union countries now don't have that freedom of movement or no customs to each other, but Ireland has got. So a lot of companies have moved to Ireland. So these are policy-driven changes. So the income of Ireland has gone up, and Ireland was otherwise considered far poorer part compared to the rest of the UK. Italy is 37, Latvia is 25, Lithuania is 28, Luxembourg 132, because Luxembourg is a tax haven. So lots of money moves there, and incomes are there. It's a small principality, and it's a simple independent country. It's not even equal to our talukas, and its income is very high. Then Malta 37, Netherlands 61, Poland 20, Portugal 26, Romania is 18, Slovakia is 23rd, Slovenia is 32, and Spain is 31, and Sweden is 55. Now, therefore, notice that a lot of these Eastern European countries, Poland and Romania and Slovakia, Slovenia, are at the low end. So they were leftist countries, they were socialist republics. Even when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, machinery of these people was taken away, etc., by various people, and they are trying to come up again. So they are the poor man of Europe that way. And within the non-Soviet countries, Italy is poor, Greece is poor. Greece is poorest actually, it's poorest. So that's the place of the oldest civilization too. Now, if you just see one correlating variable, and not to discuss one by one sector in terms of technology, etc., then the countries which had the colonies are the ones who are richer. Greece had no colonies. Italy has very little colony. Spain had, of course, extensive colonies in South America, so it was richer. And some of these colonial countries were smarter, the others were not that smart. So let's finish the understanding of what this G20 are and what the members of the European Union are, and separately we will discuss what is this 77 when the meeting comes near that, which are basically the so-called global north, right? So the world has got split like this. There was a multipolarity in terms of UK being strongest in the 18th century, 19th century. The others were there also, 4, 5. The US had the almost domination in the 20th century. Now, 21st century, the domination is changing. So they say from unipolar, it is becoming a multipolar world. That means multiple poles. And one of that pole is US, and the other pole is China, and another pole is, they think, India. Then you can say European Union. Then you can say Africa. So maybe 5 poles. And Africa should develop. In the development of Africa, there is a development of humanity, and there is something which we can say where we can also partake of developments and improvement. So I will hold it there and then discuss a little bit about the agenda of G20. And then when the agenda is discussed next week and some conclusions come out of it, we will add another part to it. Thank you. G20 chair was Indonesia last time. Unfortunately, the Ukraine war was still quite fresh, and the agenda got dominated by the Ukraine war and the um, resolution against Ukraine war, criticizing Russia, which India did not do, China did not do. So two major powers did not do it, and hence it could not be stated that way, and therefore the final agenda could also not become the written output of the summit. Except this clause was there, that except this clause, other things are agreed. Now, a whole year has gone by, a number of committees are there, business committee is one of them. There's another committee about cryptocurrencies. There's another committee about climate action, green tax, carbon tax, etc. And against terrorists, and so on it goes, right? And the agenda, therefore, is very, very wide, just like for a good UN meeting, it should be there. So these separate committees, which have been represented by the heads of those government of that particular function, like finance minister, or external affairs minister, or national security advisors for terrorism, and so on and so forth. And certain conclusions have also been arrived at. And those conclusions have become kind of specific agenda items for the leaders to look at. So what one can expect is that they will be making some decision about the cryptocurrencies to harmonize the regulations. They will make some decision about the green tax and the carbon tax, number two. They'll make some decision about the cooperation for making medicines, vaccines especially. And four, they would, of course, there will be a battle to make a statement against Russia um, with regard to Ukraine. Ukraine president was attempting that he is called, but perhaps he will not get any invitation, but he may call, he may do the video call. Mr. Putin is not attending in person, though Mr. Lavrov, his his foreign minister may come. And he may speak video call if permitted, but even if it is permitted, they might move, something like that. But otherwise, all the other big people, Biden, the president of the US, France, French president, UK prime minister, Germany chancellor, and so on, are all about willing to come. Now, in the in the BRICS meeting, there were 70 heads of government who came on the invitation. There were 5 members, now 6 have got added, that makes it 11. And about 40 members, 40 heads of government were sitting in all the deliberations there. Which means that particular summit has attracted a lot of attention in maybe a different direction. As we have earlier mentioned, they have discussed about common currency. This, for the time being, no, we will go for mutual currency trade and we'll figure it out. India has gone into agreements with 18 countries on that count. We will collaborate in energy, in renewable energy, and other social services, and so on. And since the purse of China is bigger, obviously China starts getting apart. Now, the Western people are kind of playing this game of that India and China will not get along in these things because China will try to China will attempt to become the super stamper or power. Personally, I don't think so. I think they can both live with each other. They can manage their border problems with care for each other. And so going forward, the China strength, China growth will start becoming slower, just like it has become for developed countries. There will be pressure on them for adjustment of the supply chains. There will be a lot of pressure on them if something happens about Taiwan. In any case, with the Taiwan excuse, West will continuously keep pressure on them and keep on bringing more and more sanctions, which will keep on making their life more and more difficult, which is very, very unfortunate. They have worked very hard for the position they have reached. Now, India will again have to carefully go diplomatic, that they don't invite these sanctions or invite these pressures. We are a relatively open society, lots of things get criticized also, and so we will see, therefore, G20, what kind of shape it takes, and what kind of shape it takes will also define what is the position of India as a spokesperson for the global South. Thank you.